I hereby introduce to you Mr. Michael Veazey.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. I have with me Anthony Lee, who's just given us an awesome blow-by-blow account of exactly how to get your optimization of your listing right. But once you've got your listing there, primed and ready, of course, the big thing for all of us is to get it launched and get sales going, get that velocity, get ranking, all those things. So, Anthony, tell us about launching. Obviously, you've got a huge experience of it from Zonblast and your involvement in these things hands-on. What's your basic launch strategy for a new private label product?
Okay, so my personal strategy is I want to, from the very beginning, get as much traffic and sales velocity as possible because the very first, I guess, period of time that my product is live, is the easiest time to rank it because poor conversion history hasn't brought it down yet. So it makes it super easy to rank. And the reason you want to rank is because obviously you'll get more visibility if you're on page 1 for an important keyword, and that'll spur organic sales. However, I also understand the importance of reviews. So simultaneously, this is what I do. I wait until I'm about to do a launch, and then I employ 3 different strategies all at the same time. As soon as the product goes live, I want to run a promotion because that stimulates sales velocity, which will help in ranking. It also stimulates conversion, which will help in ranking. I turn on automatic sponsored product ads for 2 reasons. One, because I want the data, and also, it's kind of a shotgun blast to get my product visible in PPC. Maybe I don't necessarily know what keywords to target yet, but I'm letting Amazon make those decisions for me. I'm not concerned about profitability as far as the campaign is concerned at that point. It's just a matter of getting it out there and getting some keyword data in exchange for that as well. And then run the promotion and PPC at the exact same time. And at this point, I'm also, I've already optimized. But what I'm doing here is refining that optimization by running the keyword reports from the automatic campaign, just to make sure I can fill in any gaps that I might have left out after I ran or after I went live, and that's basically it. So and then I'm going after reviews. How I personally do that is the old-fashioned way. I get friends and family. I tell everybody I know I've launched this awesome product. Ideally, I can get most of them to actually buy it. If for whatever reason I can't, I personally hand deliver a couple to people in my local area and ask them to give me their feedback in exchange for a review. I know technically you're not supposed to go to friends and family, but I think that's kind of a silly rule personally, because that's the most logical place for people to start, and it's the easiest way to get reviews. Unverified reviews are still unverified, but they're usually they stick, and some unverified reviews is better than no reviews, because those are important for like the social proof aspect of what's going to affect your conversion rate. So all of this is happening simultaneously.
Right, so that's really quite a big sort of push in one go, which I guess is the essence of a launch. It is a big push, isn't it? So tell us about running a promo. How do you do that? What tools do you use, if any?
So what I do first is I focus on a keyword that is the primary most relevant, right? If I'm selling a garlic press is clearly the primary and most relevant keyword. And I'll start with that. And ideally, I will have structured my title in such a way that garlic press is 2 of the keywords in my canonical URL. This is the link I can then use to do whatever promotions I want to do. As I have, unfettered access to Zonblast, one of the first places that I will go is there to run some promotions. So I'll create my coupon codes and I load it in the system, and then have the sales velocity spike over either a single day or multiple days to the list of buyers that Zonblast has. If I'm also looking for just some help in that aspect, some more sales velocity, maybe at a higher profit margin, or some brand recognition, I might also run external ads, Facebook ads, and things like that. I also have access to AMS, Amazon Marketing Services. I'll run a couple of banner ads there just to kind of let people start seeing my products more, showing up in more places. That visibility, that exposure always helps down the road. It's kind of like accumulating, and then eventually people start seeing you all over the place, and that helps in the increasing the sales velocity. And then so that's basically where I start, and then from there, using various keyword tools to kind of start focusing on trying to rank for other keywords. So aside from Zonblast as a launch platform, I will also use Keyword Inspector and Merchant Words to do keyword research, because they kind of go hand in hand.
Absolutely, yeah. Those are certainly ones that I tend to end up using a lot as well. So tell us a little bit about the there are various sort of theories around this, and there have been for quite a long time around Amazon now, about the algorithm's response to spiking the sales in one day versus spreading it over several days. First of all, do you think it makes any difference?
I do. Once upon a time, spiking it all in one day was, like in any category you could do it, and that it doesn't matter. You could be selling Garcinia Cambogia and you could rank. That was probably 2.5 years ago. It's not that simple anymore. It really does depend on the level of competition. And what I mean by the level of competition is not the number of sellers, it's how many searches that keyword gets. So if you are targeting, trying to rank for a keyword that gets less than 20,000 searches a month, it's a pretty low volume. There's a really good chance that you could do a nice, healthy sales velocity stimulation in one day and see some movement. But the vast majority of major keywords, you're looking at seeing better results spreading it out, because it's all working off of an average, right? You have hourly, you have daily, you have weekly. The thing is if you only spike it 1 hour one day, then you have all of these zero or low sales moments that are kind of bringing that average number down. But if you spread it out and start doing it day after day after day, then those average numbers start looking better and better. And we've discovered by actually playing with different amounts of time. I do this in my own products, and we've obviously seen it with thousands of others. Mid competition, you could do a solid 4 days in a row of a smaller number of units and see better results than if they had all gone in one day. And then really high competition stuff, it's kind of frustrating, but you could do 2 or 3 days of a seemingly healthy amount and still not see near the results you'd see if you would spread that out over 7 days. That's the magic number for 500,000 plus searches a month, keywords. But you'd be amazed at the results that you can get spreading it out over 7 days.
Okay, so broadly speaking, we've got a couple of rules of thumb. So if it's a sort of mid-competition product, you probably want to spread it over 4 days. If it's a high competition product, then at least sort of 7 days. So when you say giving away a healthy amount, what sort of number of units are we talking about roughly?
A healthy amount to me is over 75 per day. I do want to clarify, we're not giving these away. We're selling these at a deep discount. There is a difference. But a healthy amount to me is about over 75. If it's super, super, super competitive, I would usually target around 100's the magic number for me usually.
So 100 a day if it's super competitive. What about sort of mid-competition? Is that when you're doing 4 days in a row sort of thing? And how many a day roughly?
Mid competition, you can usually get away with somewhere between 40 and 50 a day, probably.
Okay. So you're looking at quite high numbers, because I've been speaking with other people about the whole thing of the terms of service, which obviously changed greatly in terms of incentivized reviews. But there is also part of the terms of service which is against manipulating sales rank.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Now, where does spiking a listing and sort of fall into the territory of manipulation?
It's a really, yeah, there's a really interesting question. We've tried to give people this information too, but it almost seems like people don't want to hear it. Nobody trusts a service provider, which, I mean, I understand that's a healthy skepticism. But when the first TOS change happened, it wasn't just us. All the services reached out to Amazon and asked for clarification. Only a couple of us were persistent in continuing to elevate the case to get to talk to the right department. And it wasn't just us that got this answer. There was at least one other service, and I think possibly two other services, that got a clarification on what they meant. So the terms of service that you're referring to was put into place to stop a black hat tactic that was really, really becoming rampant, where a single person or single operation had multiple fake accounts. And what you could then do was provide them with codes, and all of those fake accounts would buy. So we asked for clarification and found out that they were specifically talking about giving away excessive units to a single buyer. Right. So then we started asking more questions about definitions. Everybody was asking for a definition for the word excessive. What they weren't doing was asking the right definition, which is, what is Amazon's view of the word manipulation? Manipulation to Amazon is when you artificially spike the algorithm through non-real sales. Non-real sales are sales that go to the same buyer 50 times, 100 times. He controls, 50 or 100 accounts. That's not a real process. They also view free units spiking the algorithm as non-real sales. What Amazon completely views as real sales, which is the reason why companies like Zonblast and others like it are still thriving, is a product to a unique individual buyer in exchange for money. We do deep discount, yes, but you and I are the ones that decide what our product is worth. Amazon doesn't care. I say my product is worth $30. I sell it to you for $2. Amazon doesn't care, because as far as they're concerned, your product could be worth $2. We're the ones that set that value.
Okay, interesting. So that's very reassuring stuff, and that ties in with what somebody else who may have been another one of those companies you mentioned has been saying to me earlier in a different podcast about the review. What's the word? Not review. The sales rank manipulation. But tell me about the deep discount. Is there a percentage off at which they will start to not rank things any higher because they don't see it as valid? And is there a percentage off below which, if they happen to give you a review, they'll remove it or may remove it?
We haven't seen any definite numbers in that. For starters, I've never seen Amazon stifle ranking due to any kind of a discount. See, their approach was very different. Rather than going after sellers saying, all right, well, if you're doing because they want us to do promotions. You have to understand that drives a lot of sales to their platform. Say if they didn't want us to, they wouldn't allow us to make coupons in the first place. But they'd stifled the ability to give out coupons that are too low by getting rid of $0. That's what that. Okay, so you know how you can't do dollar off anymore? Everybody was like, oh my gosh, what are they doing? They're putting away an end to promotions altogether. No, they just now have completely stopped your ability to make a fully free coupon. You can't give products away with a coupon code anymore. That's what that was there for. So that's how they've stifled it. They're not going to throttle ranking. They're just going to say, okay, well, if you have a coupon code, because people started getting around that by being like, well, I still have free coupons that are active. I'll just extend the date. They started suspending people for that. If you use it, I know 2 people that got suspended for that. That's a real deal thing, because Amazon doesn't want you giving away coupons that give the product away for free, because it's too easy to manipulate at that point. So they stopped that. Now, as far as what causes them to take a review down, I don't think that there's a set rule for that. I mean, they take, that's just part of what the algorithm does. It takes down reviews all the time. It takes down perfectly legitimate reviews. I've lost a number of reviews that were full price. Why is that? Because they started attacking the buyer accounts. I mean, they're not banning buyers, but they are taking their reviews, wiping their history, and some of them are even being told you can't review anymore. So with that being the case, there's no telling what's gonna stick and what's not gonna stick. So all you can do is turn the review machine on, give a quality product, have a great follow-up sequence in place, and get reviews as naturally as you can, and understand that part of the game is you're just going to lose some of them.